More time. Listen, and then we'll go right back to you. Go. All right, try it again. Mm-hmm. But it is a gift of God, lest any man should boast. Okay. Let's go. Brandy, Ephesians 2, 8 and 9. Yes.
Ephesians 2, 8 through 9. For it is by grace you are saved through faith, not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, not so that no one may boast.
Okay. The idea is there. Okay. James, one more time, word for word. Real slow.
For by grace through faith are you saved, and that not of yourselves is the gift of God.
No. Through great, by grace through faith?
No, it's for by grace you have been.
Ah. Let's blame it on the king. Let's blame it on the king. But that does have an effect. Okay, go ahead, Sharice. What do you got? What version you have? Okay, let's go. Oh, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
For by grace you have been saved through faith, not of yourselves. It's the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast.
Good. Okay, and so King James goes where? Right away?
For by grace through faith are you saved.
Okay. All right. Okay. Slight variation there. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. Tina, you got it? All right, go ahead. So, we started these memory verses. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to pick on Tina just because she's right here right now, right? We have the same memory scriptures we've been working on for a year now. Okay? So, what happens is we could maybe learn them by rote memory, short-term memory, but we need to keep going over them and over them to keep them solid. You know, and once we have the base, those 10, maybe we'll add another 5 and keep going back to the 10 and then go from there. Okay? All right. So, Tina, look at it one time. Go ahead and look at it.
I did.
All right?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
For by grace you have been saved through faith.
Mm-hmm.
Not of your works. Not of yourself. It is a free gift of God.
Okay.
Not of works, lest anyone should boast.
Yes, very good. So this one's a lot of little phrases. It doesn't seem to flow like others. So you have to get that trigger word, you know, to go from there. Alex, Ephesians 2, 8 and 9.
Ephesians 2, 8 and 9. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God,
Mm-hmm.
not of works, lest anyone should boast.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Ephesians 2, 8 and 9.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Okay. Cassidy, the second commandment of the Bible. Are you sure? Good. Donovan, Romans 3:23. Okay, just say I don't know. John 3:16 and 17. You have John 3:16 and 17? Got to go. For God so loved the world that he gave us. No. Excellent. Excellent job. Excellent job. I have a lot of boot camp thoughts this morning for good purpose, good reason. I just came there. There's a lot on my mind. You had 160 kids. Pastor LaValle asked, how many read their Bible daily? 8 kids. Eight out of 160 kids. So what are the kids feeding on? So all social media, Instagram, TikTok, that is what they are feeding themselves. That is what is shaping, informing their brain. Okay? I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not trying to make people feel guilty. It is a fact. 8 kids out of 160 read their Bible daily. So, I was very, very convicted, okay, in the fact that I need to do a better job inspiring and teaching the why to read the Bible. Our Sunday school is shrinking. It's shrinking. So, we could look at it one of two ways. Boring, or I need to do a better job inspiring. Right? If you really wanted this and it was really inspiring, this place would just be packed out. I mean, Sunday school should just be packed out. This is where we are training to be disciples. This is where we're training to be future pastors. This is where if you're called to preach, this is where you want to come. I'm going to use and always use until Jesus comes back, Sunday school as a platform to train. We do not send men off to seminary school to be trained book knowledge because of discipleship and all the character deal. So there's the character issue, but then there's also know your Bible deal. And the Sunday school and the homework, 2 people did their homework, so I got to rethink that. Only 2 people, and it was 2 women. Was there a man? Is there a man in here that did your homework? Did I miss? Not one man in our entire church did their homework. Not one man in our church did their homework. I mean, what do you do if you're me, right? You're like, oh God, I got to rethink this. I've got to learn how to inspire and, I don't know. Could you say like last week it was just like a wake-up call for me as a pastor as well. I have such a burden and responsibility to pass this on to the next generation, right? So, man, I hate to start on a bummer. It's raining. It's gray. Only person happier this morning is Khalif. He comes in riding on sunshine, cheering us all up, and then I talk about us not studying or reading our Bible. But it needs to be spoken. Okay, all right. So I have become. These are all the main lessons that we've learned so far in people skills. Hard skills, so soft skills. You may have just very quick thoughts that maybe have come to your mind. I'm going to read these out. Meaning, people skills is a soft skill, nuanced, hard to pinpoint, hard to measure. Therefore, it makes it harder to improve because you don't get immediate feedback. Tight versus loose feedback makes it a soft skill. The greatest compliment in the world is, wow, you listen to me. You actually care. You listen. You understand me. You are a level 5 listener. Mando and Mince is our responsibility to correct people, right? Remove the plank from your eye so that you are able to see to remove the speck. Are we to remove specks? Of course we are. But remove the plank first. So make sure your motive is pure. But sometimes we fear removing the speck from somebody's eye because we don't want to offend. We don't like confrontation. Thoughts?
I just was thinking out of that whole list, if you had to pick one that probably could really, with everything else, I think getting a clue, like being able to read a room, would you agree with that? Or
No, it's the last lesson. Yeah. So good that you're thinking that. What I found, this is the first time I've taught this class ever. So what I found, they were all intertwined. One was linked to the other. They weren't separate categories. They each linked to each other. And I think the very last one, there might be two last ones that encapsulate all of them, okay? Reading the room is a big one because that's a skill on understanding people. In fact, let's go to that one real quick because this is the only question that popped up this week on the internet, on our website. It says, what would you do in a situation where the other person can't read the room and you want the conversation to stop? That is a great question. That is a very thoughtful question. That is one that is very hard. What I tend to do is maybe through humor, but I will divert, I will distract away from that. Okay? If the person hasn't read the room and they have completely offended, say, listen, don't worry. I'm trying to think of a name I don't know. Jack. Jack offends everyone. Don't worry about it. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's an idiot to everybody. That's who he is. Right? Or draw the attention to yourself. You recreate the atmosphere in the room. Okay, so that is your responsibility. Also, along those lines, when you're in a group conversation, okay, you are speaking only to add value to the conversation, not take value. So you sit in a room and you're like, oh, I'm just going to be quiet and just listen. Well, that doesn't add value to anybody. Responding to what they say is speaking. You're adding value to other people. But a lot of times in groups, all people want to do is talk because they want to add value to themselves. They want to make themselves look better, or they just can't wait to express an idea that no one cares about. I know people, they show pictures of their grandchildren on all day long. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Stop that. I really don't care that your grandchild is the smartest ever. It makes you look kind of dumb in a way. Stop it. I don't do it. I don't show all these, if somebody wants to see them, oh, look, yeah, I'm proud, that adds value. Shh, thank you for recognizing that I have a grandchild. Here's a picture. Cool, we're done. But wait till you see what she just walked, the 3 steps. You got to see this. You got to see this. Read the room, right? You're adding comment. So what you have to do in this situation is recognize where everybody's at. Is that person getting added value? Or if somebody got cut off, I go back to them. I say, hey, finish your story. Have you ever been mid-story? The server comes, okay, and you're taking the order, and then they move on. I'm always watching going, hey, listen, finish that story. I didn't hear the end. I'm adding value because their story matters. So I'm not in a conversation for me unless I am. When I am in a conversation, it's because I need to add wisdom to, let's say I'm with my men out, my 5 guys out, and we're sitting around and we're talking or whatever. When I speak, it's because I want to give them something. I really do want to give them something. I'm not speaking to get, I'm speaking to give. Now, I also preach to give, not to get. And that'll only become clear after years and years and years of understanding what I just said. Very, very difficult to understand what I just said. You preach to give, not to get. Can I get an amen? Can you help a brother out? Like, we're not here to help the brother out. You're here to help us. Can I get an amen? Like, get a clue. Okay, anyway, I'm a little tense. I got to unwind. A whole week of just a whole week of just recognizing things in people and correcting and helping and training and teaching. It's a mode you get in because you want to help people, okay? All right, let's go back. I'll calm down. Don't worry, I'll calm down, but I'm bad with names. I'm going over my app, all the people I've met, just keep their names fresh because they might show up this morning. Crystal might come. I'm ready, right? I got their names, their kids' names. I'm ready to go, okay? How is it love if everybody cannot stand being around your children? How do you love your children if no one wants to be around them? True confessions. There are times when I look at the parents and I'm like, "Ugh." Like I hate that feeling. Like your kid is so annoying. Like, anyway, I don't want to be that. Tight versus loose feedback, get a clue. Those are all it. Okay, so that's our situation room. Okay, that was the old question. Before I go to the next slide, we're sitting in boot camp, and now it's the last day. Things have lightened up. It's the last day. We're in the sanctuary. It's a huge sanctuary. Picture 150 kids on the one side, 150 on the other side. Boys on this side, girls on this side, and it's the last day. And now, it's Thursday. It was what it was. I think it was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember what day it was. The whole camp is going to go near the boys' cabins. We'll have a cookout or not cookout, the bonfire, everything. So we're going that way. And Pastor Lavalle, he says, he made a joke. He says, all right, boys, run down there and make sure that you shut all the doors to your cabins. Because the girls are going to look inside and see how much of a slob you are. Then he said something interesting. He says, okay, girls, everybody's seated, stand up if you want to marry a slob. Well, obviously, when girls stood up, I mean, everyone's like, not even one stood up to be funny because she's like, I will marry him. I know I will. It's prophecy. So I got this thought. It fell right. It fell perfectly on today's people skills. How many of you girls want to marry a slob? You want to marry a slob? No. So you have to ask yourself why. You have to ask yourself why. And I think it's because of what? Having a messy house, a messy car, a messy life, the vibe that it sends. I love the word vibe because vibe is like, it's a dynamic that's invisible, that is just emitted through dynamics. Okay, let me give you an example. Restaurants give a vibe. Right? So anniversary, you want to take your wife out to a nice place. You want to go to a place where the vibe matches the price of what you're paying. Right? There's a vibe. The waiter acts different. The colors, the money that they put into the place. I sit at these restaurants and I look at the architecture. I look at, man, how much they spent to create a certain vibe that you matter, that you're actually an expensive person. You know, if we're gonna charge $26 for a cheeseburger, you better be paying 80% of that cheeseburger for the vibe of the restaurant, right? And it's a whole totally different vibe if you go to fast food. It's just a vibe. So I thought about this. I was thinking, well, what is the message that sloppiness versus clean and organized sends? Okay. And I'm praying, I'm saying, God, I need a scripture, I need something that's going to really express it. And I think I found it. We're going to read the New King James Version, then we're going to read the Message Version. And the Message Version's brutal. Like, I didn't even want to put it up. It's that brutal. But here's the scripture. Joseph, you want to read that for me, please?
Proverbs 24:30. I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And there he was, all overgrown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. So shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armor.
So I was trying to think about me. I have a lot of true confessions this morning, but I was thinking about a disgusting house, disgusting car. Funny story. My car has been clean. My wife's car has been clean. My granddaughter comes to visit. We have to borrow the car seat, and they're leaving. I'm taking the car seat out, and there was all kinds of crumbs. It's so easy to stay cleaner without kids. So I want to bring a balance to this. I don't want to create anybody OCD. And I also recognize that we live in a real world, okay? So I'm not saying if you have kids and your house is a little messy because you live in a real world and a fast-paced life. I get it. I really want to keep balance. I don't want to shame anyone for having a normal, real life. But there seems to be, though, there's a fine line, right? So I was trying to figure out why I am messy and why I have to work so hard at being organized and to keep my office clean and my car clean, and we'll talk about a few of those things. And I thought, the only thing that I could come up with, the two things that I came up with. One, laziness. You're just lazy. Okay? I couldn't come up with much more. And then two was the culture by which you grew up in. That could be normal, messy, gross, disgusting. Remember, through the years, you go into the bathroom at somebody's house and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But they don't think it is. And I pondered it. I was like, my wife would never allow anybody to use that bathroom or whatever, right? It's just, but a certain standard has been set by your experience growing up. So how you clean and how you organize was given to you by your culture that you grew up in. So if all you knew was overgrown thorns, covered with nettles, stone walls breaking down, right? That would be a standard. That would be kind of normal. And you'd have to fight against that to not work it out. So let's read the Message version. So, because I've thoroughly offended many. But remember, we're in a people skills class. And if we don't look at ourselves correctly and deal with these issues and say, whoa, right? We're not going to get better in life. Me too, okay? So here's the Message version. Joseph, go ahead. This one.
Proverbs 24:33-34. One day I walked by the field of an old lazy bones, and then passed by the vineyards of a Slav. They were overgrown with weeds, thick with thistles, all the fences broken down. I took a long look and pondered what I saw. The fields preached me a sermon, and I listened. A nap here, a nap there, a day off here, a day off there. Sit back, take it easy. Do you know what comes next? Just this. You can look forward to a dirt-poor life with poverty as your permanent house.
This Message dude, he just went ham. He just went bam. So, however long ago back, doesn't matter. We're outreaching at this a trailer park. I'll just say it. And I'm standing and I'm looking at this. So, lazy and maybe culture. Imagine if someone came from a culture where that trailer was a palace in the old place they lived. I'm seeing rotted wood on the entry. I said, why don't you fix that? Because that doesn't bother them. That doesn't bother them. That is not an issue. Perhaps being beaten and all the other torture that goes on in their life, that rotted wood down there pales in comparison, right? So I get it. We have different backgrounds. We have different ways that we were raised. And I do take that into consideration, okay? But let's think about this. I've lived in a third world nation for 12 years of my life. Third world, poverty, $500 a month. And I go into some of these places, they don't have a lot of money, and their stuff isn't nice, but it's clean. And it's organized. And it's not the best. But there's not junk and food out and all kinds of stuff. And so we could go both ways. We could talk about culture. We could also talk about, I'm not going to be a victim to my culture. Okay? Cherise? Okay.
Someone told me once, I don't know, a long time ago, that sometimes the messiness, that you have like your car, your house, whatever, it also is like a representation of the messiness that's in your heart, like or in your mind, like
Okay.
you're depressed or like you're going through struggles or whatever, and you just don't feel like.
Okay. So I'm glad you said it because I'm already not making many friends this morning, obviously. And that's not necessarily my goal, but the saying goes like this, and I haven't broken it down completely yet. What you do in some things is what you do in all things. Like, you are who you are. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you a really good example. Disciples, your first church is your home. Okay, it's your wife and your kids, that's your first church. Your finances are who you are, right? So we have to work on getting out of debt, be responsible for finances. When your wife is filled with joy and she feels the secureness with you handling money, that is a good sign that you will be able to reproduce that as a church on a bigger scale. So if you're a mess in this area, what makes you think given more, you're not going to be more of a mess? So it is a reflection of you and your state. Now, the extreme is true as well, OCD. Now, OCD is, I want to be in control over everyone and everything. And that is a mental problem. That is a problem where if I don't control my environment, okay, then I'm vulnerable. So there is a balance, okay? And, the last thing I want is for somebody to necessarily beat themselves up. I want you to say, why am I messy? Is this a good standard? Because what's going to happen is this. I think that the vibe is a people skill. Okay? How can you talk about living clean when you don't live clean? It's like it's a paradox. Okay? Let's take our church for example. I came 2 Sundays ago, and there's a weed growing up in front of the window there, and I'm watching it grow. I'm watching it grow week by week by week. And I said, I've had it. I took a picture, sent it in the men's group, and I said, I just wrote attention to detail. Okay? So that weed got pulled, right? And then there's more down that are up. And so my point is this. If I pull up to the church and I see weeds, it sends the vibe that there's not a lot of attention to detail in this place that I'm about to go. On the way down to boot camp, stopped with Pastor Cologne to eat at a restaurant, Jason's Deli. Love Jason's Deli. He says, hold on, I got to go use the restroom. He came back and says, is the bathroom clean? Yeah, why? Like he did something. I said, is it? Because I usually judge a restaurant by the bathroom. If they take a tear of the bathroom and it's detailed, that means that same person is caring about the kitchen and cockroaches and all of that. So what I'm saying is it just sends a vibe. Now there's hands, so give me just one more second and I'm gonna give plenty of time to talk. One last thought, and this really fundamentally changed me. It was Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. I only remember one story in the entire book, and it was about Rudy Giuliani when he was mayor of New York. He decided, you know what we're gonna do? We're going to remove all graffiti from the subway system. You can read this in the book. It's fascinating. We're going to remove all graffiti in New York City from the subway system. And so they started painting over, removing all the graffiti right? And then the train cars that come in, if somebody graffitied them, they would immediately take that car out of service, paint it, and send it back. And a war on graffiti. What they found was, as soon as there was no more graffiti in the subway, people stopped jumping the turnstile. Because they came down in the subway and it's clean, neat, and organized, it sent the vibe, people are watching this, people care about this place. This place is in order. So they followed order because of the vibe that it sent. And then he talked about broken glass. Broken glass sends the message of neglect. I'm in Mendoza, Argentina. We're in a downtown area. Our building there, our second building there, was glass. It was a whole wall of glass and a whole wall of glass with these panels of glass. It was just glass from ceiling to floor. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, security nightmare. So one Saturday night, somebody threw a rock through the glass at the bottom. It hit, and we come on Sunday morning, okay, and there's Matthias and some other guys, and they're standing there, and I'm freaking out. And they're watching this. This broken glass, and people are coming, and they're like, what's the big deal? We come from a broken glass life. He says, no. We're calling the glass company now. Well, that would cost, it's Sunday. I don't care. We're fixing this right now. He couldn't come to after service. I'm going crazy. I'm like, no broken glass. I'm trying to teach the third world people, right, that's not acceptable. Right? That's something within your control. I'm not talking about building the Taj Mahal or gold-plated toilets. I'm talking about take care of the things that you can take care of, right? Don't let those things go. They send a message to people. So your home sends a message. Your car sends a message. I have to work very hard at it. Part of my confession. I am not an organized person. I am a wannabe. I really do want to be. And Mackenzie's very organized. I said, Mackenzie, why don't you help me? She goes, no, you just do it. We have a guy in Pembroke Pines. He's really organized. And I said, tell me how you do it. He goes, I don't let anything accumulate. And just walked away. That stuck with me. I just don't let things accumulate at all costs. And I watch organized people, and I watch how they do things. They don't move on. They take care of it because they know it's there. It's not procrastinating, and they fix it. So I work on this. I bought the pass for the car wash at Edge Car Wash. Every time I'm near there, I'll go in, wash the car, and I'll spend 5 minutes vacuuming this every time I'm there. So I'm always staying on top of it. I went there this morning because I knew I was doing this. And so, but it was so weird. I went to boot camp. I drove there. I came back. I got my stuff here. I got my chips there because I was eating driving. Then I got this, and I got this stuff here and there. And I'm tired. I gotta write Sunday school, 2 sermons. I've got to get ready. I got a lot of things going on. And I'm like, the title of my Sunday school is Clean House, Clean Car. You got to be kidding me. So I'm behind this morning, but I went. It's kind of like a Sunday morning routine for me now. Okay, open thoughts, questions. Bernice.
Just 2 thoughts. 'Cause I think we could be different, so different in one person. And
Correct.
And I'm thinking of like my workspace at work or at anywhere. I need my stuff visible. Like if I put, I'm Post-its, I'm signs, I'm this.
Yes.
It looks like a mess, but in my mind,
Right.
it's It's like I know what's where and I need to see it.
Correct.
Versus like here at the church office or somewhere, anywhere, like if somebody moved the stapler, you grab the stapler, put it back straight the way it was, like, and then people could, they grab it, you're looking for something that,
Correct.
so it's like, those things would just drive my mind bonkers. But I think what I'm careful is that, like, if I go to grab something that's not my space, my area, I'm try to be very conscious to make sure I put it exactly the way it was.
Okay, that's just being thoughtful. So part of that is being thoughtful in other spaces that are not your own. I want to stick to the fact that I was taught as a disciple, dude, keep your car clean. I was just taught that. And the guy that was discipling me didn't totally explain it all to me. He's like, no, you got to keep your, that sends a message to your disciples that you're organized, that you're on time, that you care. You care about them coming and sitting in your car and it doesn't smell. It's not nasty, right? Okay, so yes, Nancy.
So at what point, I used to be real OCD, like stay at 2,
Okay,
everything. I've been delivered. But I still like my house clean or else I get anxious or
Right.
in a bad mood. But at what point do you just like, okay, just let it go? Like right now, I would not allow you in my home and they just got back with cameras stuff everywhere.
right. Okay, Nancy, please understand me, everyone. Please understand me. There's balance to this, and there's things that are understandable, okay? And I don't want everybody to think by legalism or, have to be. I'm just talking about if you're dirty, I'm just trying to help you. If you're dirty, that'll hinder you building a church. I'm telling you it will. Now, you might get people dirtier than you in your church and think that your house is clean. That could be. But if you're going to invite, what did Paul say? I am all things to all people. Okay? If a senator came to your church and he's high class and high society, whatever, and you didn't have a lot of money, do you think he would judge you if you didn't have a lot of money, or would he judge you like, dude, this is nasty, you could clean up? See what I'm saying? Right? So I opened up saying, Nancy, we have kids, we have lives. It was funny, the car seat for my granddaughter in the car, and there's crumbs everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's life. We understand. That's not a hit on you. I'm just saying, in general, I would want my disciples to understand that how they treat their home and treat their cars, how they're going to treat their church. More than likely. Okay? You can immediately tell. When you go into Pastor, I'll just pick on Pastor Cologne because I was just with her. I'm not comparing all the churches. I'm not doing that. But I'm telling you, the first time I walked in there, I mean, it's all organized. It's clean. The carpet clean. There's no carpet frayed. It's in order. The chairs, everything. When I first met him, I said, well, the guy's in order. See what I'm saying? It just sends a vibe. That's all. It just sends a vibe. Okay, there was other hands. Alex?
The scripture, one of the things my dad, the biggest thing was yard.
Okay.
So since young, he instilled that into me.
Isn't that weird?
And so
Yeah.
my dad was gone for a week until I was and the grass grew. And I noticed it the first time, and I'm like, this is terrible. It wasn't even bad. It was
Right,
like,
right.
this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I knew I would, like, usually I would do it. And I didn't do it because I was just like, it's not that bad.
Right.
So, like, usually I had no problem. And, like, the second day my dad got back,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, Dad, I know.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. Culture, that was important. That's what the kids come home, the lawn's manicured, it looks nice from the outside, first impressions, right? That is a good thing. So it goes back to, ladies, do you want to marry a slob? They don't want to. They really don't want to. They don't want to be married to a lazy man. Because lazy means you're not a good provider and a protector. You're not going to defend. You're not going to pay attention to these things, in my opinion. Now, there might be some ladies that just want just a slob. I don't know. But it was interesting when we asked all those girls in that boot camp who wants to marry a slob, none of them, I don't care. As long as he's good looking. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just digging myself deeper and deeper into this. Yes, Roman?
So, two things. One on the slob thing, it goes the other way too. I don't think men want to marry a slob.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, great, correct.
And the other,
Touche.
nobody wants lazy and not most of that. But,
Correct.
I've learned the fastest way to clean your house is to plan a fellowship.
Pro tip. Yeah. So my problem, Roman, is that there could be people that are, like we say, tone deaf, can't read the room, right? This fits into the context of people skills. People are over, and the bathroom is like disgusting. Something's wrong with their character. Something is lacking, okay? That sends a vibe. If you're going to build a church, you're going to build reputation and credibility. That's all. This is just one Sunday school in 52 in a year, okay? This isn't OCD class every Sunday to beat you up about being messy. This is a consideration. Go home and look if you're a mess. We lived overseas for 7 years. It's forced minimalism. You take only what's important. And as you live overseas, you let go of materialism, you let go of America, and you start to realize, man, I can live with a lot less things and still be happy and content. It is a wonderful experience to live overseas and not have to take things. Then we come home, right, and we don't have anything. We don't have a kitchen table. We have nothing. We have started from zero, and we still are, and whatever, and we don't have a lot in our house, and it's bliss. There's nothing even to clutter. And there she goes to Home Goods. I'm like, no, stop, man. It's just so peaceful. I don't have to deal with all these kinds of things and everything. And my wife's already clean as it is, but I'm realizing how much I like not having stuff everywhere. My brain seems to be clear. So weird. I'm so wannabe. I have read so many minimalism books. I just finished one the other last 2 weeks ago, and I started. Same author. He has a sequel to the book, and I'm looking at it, and he's really emphasizing: do you need more things? Do you need another coat? Why do you need another coat? Is there an emptiness? Is there something that's going on? Clutter, buying things, hoarding, holding on to things. These are all things that are problems on the inside. And your house is a reflection of you. And that's all I'm saying. That's all. I don't want to create enemies, and I don't want to guilt anybody. You can hear my wife, oh great, no one's gonna invite us to your house again now. You're gonna be just looking in the bathroom and all that. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Bernice, last thought.
There was this brother that he was so fruitful, but he would be the guy that's always going to pick up the guys off the military base, giving everybody rights to church. I got in his car one time. You cannot, and I was very nervous and hesitant had I not had to get my car
All right.
And I remember just
Let me end on this. Okay, good. Let me end on that. We could probably assume that same thing is working inside of his spirit. We could probably assume that and be safe. Start church at 10:30. God bless you. Test. You muted it? Did you mute?